Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. As you guys can see, who are watching video, Bass Geek is back with us. Thomas is out this week, but hopefully we'll get him back. But Geek is on the road, making it happen as always. Tell us a little bit first about where you're going. I know this event will be over with, but maybe people can watch their calendar, follow the social media for this organization, and attend the next one.
Oh yeah, so I'm extremely happy about it because I live in an area that's just a group of small towns, right? You travel 10 minutes to each one, and so we're in a region of little small towns, and the event is called Antlers Deep Outdoors Expo. So this year I get to be, I guess, the guest of honor or something like that. We're I got Mike over here. He's shining the boat up for us. And for you guys watching on YouTube, I am in a car wash, standing in a car wash right now. So if you see the brush behind me, but it's really neat because this is really, we live in the Appalachian Mountains, and that's how you say it. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm from the Appalachian Mountains. It's not Appalachia. It's not French.
There's a place here that's called Appalachia.
That's right. There is literally a town 5 minutes up the road called Appalachia. So anyway,
this is awesome.
But it's great, man. And this is their third year. I helped out a little bit with it last year. Just helping them get some of their social media, helping them kind of figure out how to promote things. And, it's small. It's a small little thing. But we want to grow this, and we want it to become something special for our area.
Yeah.
So I'll be there all day, 11 to 3 tomorrow. If you want some of my favorite swim baits, Ramsey Baits will be there all day. And it's just a good time. I don't know that we'll do a live stream. So if you guys go back, you can see the live stream. But I know
we won't have this up till Monday anyway. So
yeah, we'll have we're definitely going to do a video on the whole thing. So it's going to be good, man. There's nothing like this. I live in such a small area. There's really just nothing like this for the outdoorsman. And around here, that's all the heck you got is outdoors. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. You're going at it. Pretty cool what Bass Geek is doing, and you guys all know Augusta County up the road. That's where me and Geek met.
Yep.
The original OG right here was at Augusta County, and then if you guys have listened for a long time, I picked up the phone. Geek said, "You want to be a part of Basscast Radio? Let's work and build each other together and help promote each other." Yep. And let's talk about bass fishing. And that's the cool thing about that show as well. That show has grown. It's huge. He's there. He had a little setback during COVID, then would bounce back again. And luckily the area up there that they're in, Augusta County, Fishersville, by the way, they got a small section, and then a larger building, small building, larger building. And this past year they hit the large building, and hopefully that event keeps growing. And it is really cool. Guys, you're spending $5 to get in. It helps the club, helps pay for the rent, but you're making connections. And I'll tell you this, guys. One of my writers, Calvin Herndon, he's always looking for a fishing partner. You want to know how to meet a fishing partner? You either go to an event like Bass Geek is going to today, a lot of hands, and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a fishing partner," or just make some contacts, and then go from there. So, that's the cool thing about these small events to large events. You never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who you're going to be a part of. So, guys, like I said, make sure we preach this all the time here on Basscast Radio. It doesn't matter the size of the event. You never know who you are going to meet at that event. So, hey, we got Geek, and he's washing a car, and he is on borrowed internet. It's crazy today.
It is a little crazy today. And that's the thing about this expo; it's actually free to the public.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so you can come out, hang out. It's 100% free to the public, and have a good time. But just to show you again, you guys check her out. She's shining.
And it's Vasquez Green, everybody.
That's right, baby. The Green
It's
Goblin.
Vasquez Green.
But
All
yeah,
right, so
should be fun.
I thought we would. So let's welcome Geek back everybody back to the show. But what's been going on in your world, Geek? I mean, we haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. You've been on vacation. I know you had a lot of content queued up before you left. So
We did, man, and
you worked
thank
his
God
ass
for
off.
that.
You guys don't hold on a second. You guys don't understand what it's like for a content creator to just take a week's vacation.
Yeah,
And this is what it's like.
and we worked a month. We worked our guts out for a month to try and get the content queued up, everything. We worked, and so what ended up happening was I actually disconnected. Man, it's super nice. After we've had the hack and the hack attempt, and everything else that we've had this year going on, it was nice to just go to the beach. And as I always jokingly say, but it's the truth, is I like to go to the beach, sit on the beach, drink beer, and piss in the ocean, then drink more beer. That's what I like to do. It's just relaxing. It's unwinding. I disconnected from work. I disconnected from, all social medias.
Yeah. He even disconnected us. I mean, so it's all good. Everybody needs that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably the only one crazy enough to do some shit like that, where I just like keep the ball rolling and try to keep you guys up with content and what's happening in the world of bass fishing. But yes, Geek did it, and I need to do better, and I need to do better about it myself. So, but talk to us a little. You're better now, Geek. So it actually went away.
Good.
So content wise, what have you been working on, and what have you been putting out?
So, if you haven't seen, I'm telling you, go check out the live darter video. Thomas is a big fan of it. I've actually got one sitting right here in front of me, a very fine little bait by Jackall. And, we're just always looking and digging for new baits, new drops, whether it be from companies that we work with. Jackall's one of the companies we do not work with at all. So we talk about everything. We talk about all kinds of baits from all kinds of different companies. We're doing some fishing, of course. Even though the fishing videos never get any views, we still like to put them out. Just because we at least prove to people we don't just talk about baits. We do actually use them and catch fish. Man, we're just we're leaning into it. I'm ready to get back after it. We got some honeydews to do, but as far as like up and coming videos and stuff, we've got a great video on jigs in late summer coming out,
Okay.
sort of a 1-2 punch there. We've got a video that we just filmed the other day talking about baits, because I like to fish deep. And during the summer, really, you've got three options. From summer to early fall, you got three options, and those options are: you got to have depth, you got to have current, or you got to have grass. And all those things create oxygen. You're going to have a little cooler temperatures, a little better oxygen. Down in deep water, you're going to have oxygen created by grass, and you're going to have oxygen and cooler temps created by current. So you're either going up the rivers and creeks, or you're either going out on the ledges, or you're going to go fish those grassy areas, grass lines. And so we talk about how we kind of discovered this year how to use vibration and flash. And I share a lot of things. I know we've talked about a lot on here. We talk about love or hate a forward facing sonar. But for somebody like me, who's a geek, I mean, who can honestly take or leave tournaments. Now, I'm a fanboy of all the pros, and I've got a lot of
Yeah.
friends and know a lot of people, and they're great, and they're great at what they do. I'm by far not one of those guys. But what it allows me to do is go out and test and play with things that a lot of the pros don't get to test and play with because they have to be very good at very certain things. And we've been testing uh, in ultra clear water, flash, and vibration for open water. So you've got nowhere for the bass to hide. They can feel it, they can see it. How much flash, how much vibration does it take in ultra clear water, the pickiest type of bass, to get them to fire?
Right.
And it's been pretty eye opening. One of the questions you always hear the pros get asked this is, how long should you fish a spot? Right? I
Yeah,
know
that's true.
I know the answer. I can tell you the answer right now. How long should you fish an area before you change? You can tell you how long?
Go
Three
for it.
casts. Three casts.
I
And
know
I'll tell
Kevin
you,
Van Dam was a running gunner. I mean,
yes,
he was that would burn up a pocket and be gone. I mean, I tried to chase him when he was up here for the Bassmaster Elites back in when we started this whole thing, and that dude burned up a pocket in no time.
there you go. So here's the key. If you know that there are bass there, okay? If you know there are bass there, and you throw that bait 3 times, you need to change the bait or move.
Right.
And how I know this is because I've thrown at schools of 150 bass. All right, and I've watched them now. I've watched them follow almost the whole group follow the bait the first cast. The second cast, you'll get maybe a third, and that third cast, not a single one of them will react to that
Oh.
bait as it goes by. And so that's something. How do you learn that without being able to see it? So love it or hate it, just dropping that just helped everybody.
So Geek a little while ago was talking about fishing the grass, everybody, and I'll be up on the James River this weekend for the 2-day BFL event, or I'm going to be coming back because it's post on Monday. But it's river season. I mean, everybody's fishing the moving water,
There you go.
the grass, the Potomac, which we all know has got many different types of vegetation in it. So how important, this time of the year, how important is depth play a role this time of the year with the grass and the movement that you're talking about?
I mean, I think it plays a pretty big role. I mean, conditions are going to dictate. So, early morning, those bass are going to be out there on those edges, on those grass points. They might even be slightly off of them and suspended, but as the sun comes up, they're going to bury up. They're going to get up in there to where they feel comfortable.
Right.
And, and even in current, even grass with current, grass is going to create current breaks. It's going to create eddies. It's going to,
Yeah.
So those are the types of places you want to think about and pay real close attention to.
For you guys that don't know, I love floating the river here. It's a different part of the James, by the way. It's a lot shallower, but that's where we catch a lot of our bass between those breaks.
Yeah.
In the grass, the breaks, the rocks, you name it. And a simple Cinco. You guys don't have to have nothing crazy. A Cinco, a lizard, even maybe a small crankbait. I mean, something, it doesn't have to be a big, huge profile, but they'll tear them up.
They will. Those bass that are in that grass and in that current, that water is going to be cooler. It's going to have twice as much oxygen content.
Yes.
They're going to be super active. I seen a study. You remember the bass professor? Remember the bass?
I remember him. Yeah,
I can't remember what his actual name was, He was talking about a study that I think Berkeley did. They had a big tank, kind of like those Lunker troughs or
Oh
whatever they
yeah.
are. And so they did a study, and I found this pretty interesting because it's really changed the way. And I've started noticing, like, we've seen 80, 78. Somebody thinks they're Fast and Furious there in their little Honda cylinder. Anyway, so we've been chasing topwater bass in 78 to 82 degree water, right?
Okay.
And these
Yeah.
mountain reservoirs. Now, most of the time when you get up into the 80s, most people think, oh, that's, they start to calm down, and they do not, I can tell you. I've even got a picture I can send you of two good ones we caught yesterday. But the thing of it
Maybe we
is,
can use that as the screen cover.
okay, all right, I can send you a couple. So the thing of it is that study, he said that they had one end of the tank in the 30s or very low 40s, and the other side of the tank, they were heating, and so the water started up well into the 90s. And he said every foot they would have a thermometer, and that would be testing water temp. And you know what? And because every angler I know, they're going to guess 72,
Right.
75, right?
Mm-hmm.
80 degree. That 80 degree water temp is where all the bass would hover, gather up right in the middle of it. So if that don't change, that insight for me was like, whoa, that blew my head off. I was like, that makes me think about things different. And I guess that's like the peak of their metabolism, the peak of, their ability to feed and chase. And, if you think about it, our body temps are, they run what, 98?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not
You
a
know, I,
doctor.
I tell so many people, about fishing, and people overthink the sport, to be honest.
We
Fish
do
are
all the
just like
time.
fish are just like us. We
Yes.
like cool water. We like oxygen. We like
Mhm.
food. We like being fat and lazy. I mean, go where you think you would go. I mean,
Yeah. Especially largemouth. And,
yes,
that's what I was
especially
talking
them.
about. Now that might change a little bit with, like, uh, throwing at smallmouth or spotted bass. Maybe you can get away with 3, 4, or 4 or 5 casts. But largemouth, especially in open water, clear areas, sight feeding, really picky largemouth, they're going. They seem to like that 78, 82 degrees. They seem to like that. Uh, you know that that slow moving bait. And the reason why we started really diving into, I guess I should tell you the story behind this. One of the reasons why we started diving into and playing with baits, even in that ultra clear water that had a tiny bit of flash or a tiny bit of uh, vibration to them, is two of my favorite baits to throw are a 5.5, 6 inch. It's a very translucent ghost shad. If the one that you'll know most of all is made by Strike King, a Shadowlicious, and it's really, I call it a shadow. It's really, the back is just painted like this very light shadow type black, and it's
Mm-hmm.
completely clear. So I use a Ramsey bait version of it because it's got a little tighter wiggle in that clear water. But I would notice when I would throw that bait out there, and we knew they were feeding on, those 3 to 5 inch shad. But we noticed we'd get a lot of them that come up and hit it in the side or chase it on the first cast. Then the second cast, you might not get anything. So they were
Right.
turning off that bait pretty quick, and it's a super subtle bait. Got a little bit of body roll, real tight. But then I would pick up a ½ ounce, 3.5 inch underspin that had a decent sized blade on it. When I'd throw that underspin out there, first cast, they would clock it. And it was
Right.
just the difference. Now I could catch one, and then I could throw out there and I'd see the same sort of thing. I'd see, okay, they'd have a few follow. Then I'd make a second cast, might have one react to it. Make a third cast, They just let it go right by. But I'd pick up that swim bait again, make 2-3 casts, even though they wouldn't bite it, they would react to it. And I think it kind of reset their brains. And then I'd pick that underspin up and crack. They'd swallow it again on the first cast.
There we go.
No, I think we're back at it again. So the way we kind of discovered, and the reason why we started playing with flash and vibration was I love to throw a swim bait out on ledges, ultra clear water, but I also love to throw a underspin. And so what we started noticing this year especially is that when we were throwing that very clear, I call it like a shadow. Ramsey Baits makes my favorite, but you can see what I'm talking about. It's the ghost shad.
All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulty, but we are back. Like I said earlier, Geek is getting the boat cleaned up, and the dude sounds like a freaking. Here you guys go. Here's a little tip for you. Before you do a podcast, before you do anything, it's no hate against Geek because he's just busy as mofo. Clean your phone, close all your apps, close everything if you got to be on your phone. But we Geek back. He's talking about the underspin and the summertime fishing that we got going on. We're actually, before Geek comes on and talks about this real quick, the mornings are still dark now. We're not getting that light till earlier. We're starting to, the fall is starting to creep up on us, but we're going to finish this underspin conversation right here. And we're going to talk for a few more minutes before we let Geek hit the road and promote, Bass Kids Radio also, as well as, the Geeketh.
That's right. We will, and a tip about fall, this is something that I learned last year, thanks to Live Scope again, is that almost immediately, when those nighttime temps starts to drop, those bass start to move. So you better be moving with them. Just because that water temp, if that water temp begins to fall, you better move. Because it's done. Supper's done. They're starting to go to their fall and move to their winter homes. But we were talking about
swim baits and underspins.
Yep, and vibration. And really this comes down to any baits. Like we've been testing big 1-2 ounce chatterbaits, large scroungers, and in combination with this. And the thing of it is we were taking very subtle, ultra clear water, 8 to 10, maybe even 12 feet visibility, and we're throwing a swim bait, a 5 to 6 inch swim bait that's ultra clear.
Mm-hmm.
Bass, go ahead.
Yeah.
So we were taking that clear swim bait and throwing it and watching how those bass in open water react to it. And so we'd make one cast, they'd go crazy. They might even swipe at it, but they'd never eat it. Second cast, maybe 1 or 2 would react or just follow. And then by the third cast, you got nothing. They would it'd go right by them. I literally felt the line coming across some of them's back. They wouldn't react.
Good God.
We moved to the underspin, same bait, same weight. Everything's the exact same, but we just had that little bit of thump.
Yep.
Not as much flash because the bait is over top of that blade, unlike a spinner bait, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, that blade and that little bit of thump would get us bit. And it never failed. It was almost like I was joking with Mike. We were erasing those bass's memories. So we'd throw that swim bait out there 2-3 times, and then we'd throw the underspin and we'd get a bite. And then we'd throw the underspin 2-3 times, and they wouldn't react to it anymore. We'd throw the swim bait out there 2-3 times. They'd maybe react to it, and then we'd throw the underspin and get a bite. So it was like we were just resetting them every single time, which really led us down the path this summer of testing out flash and vibration. And we've done things from adding scent that we've added extra glitter, a little bigger glitter to, and throwing that bait with, and throwing that bait without, that glitter, and you wouldn't believe the difference that it makes. It's sometimes it's just that little bit, that little bit extra flash, or that little bit of extra thump. We'll throw that bait on a standard swim bait head, and then we'll throw that bait on a or we'll throw a straight tail version of that bait on a underspin, or a big chatterbait, and they'll go crazy for it. So, and it's really one or the other. Sometimes they want that more subtle bait, but it seems like if you take both and throw them in tandem, you'll get more bites by going back and forth, back and forth. So
mix it up this fall. It ain't fall yet. We're still in the summer for to catch giant bass, is what Geek is trying to tell you guys. Before we let you go, like I said, you're getting ready to get on the road. We've had some technical difficulties. We apologize for that, but it's a lot of good meat in this thing. I'm not gonna lie. I've been just sitting here listening, but like I said, the time's starting to change a little bit, Geek. The mornings are still dark when I leave, which this morning was extremely dark. And it's, we're starting to see that pattern begin. We're at the very beginning of it, but we're starting to see that very beginning of it. So anything that you can leave with us before you head out for the, trying to get that early morning bite with the time changing and the cooler mornings that we're going to see the next couple of days?
Just be ready to cover a lot of water. Live where your shad are.
Okay.
If you don't find bait fish, and it doesn't matter, you guys up north, or if you're fishing a pond, if you don't see the bluegill on that side of the pond, don't fish there. If you're not seeing shad in that area, don't fish there. I will say this: as we get into September, pay attention to your new and full moon. A great bite is a jig bite when the new and full moon happens in September, and it can depend on water temperature, but a lot of times you'll get a lot of your crawdads, crayfish, whatever you want to call them, mud bugs, they'll molt, and your bigger ones will molt during one of those two moons. So that bite, I've had people tell me, since I've been telling them about that, which I learned from a biologist who studies crawdads. I've had people tell me that they've turned that bite into some pretty good bags.
That's awesome.
So,
all right. Well, before we go, Geek, anything you guys say? Anything? What's anything you need to watch out for besides you guys hitting Bass Geek and following his YouTube channel, which you need to do right now if you haven't done that, as well as Basscast Radio. By the way, don't just watch. Now, I listened to something the other day. It's like, guys, it's free. You hit a you hit a subscribe button. I want to drop the F-bomb. It's a button. You guys will follow porn in 2 seconds flat.
That's right.
Sorry.
And don't make me start whipping my puppies out to get a subscribe.
There you go. So please just subscribe to us, daggone it. You like the content, you like listening to what we have to say, hit the subscribe button. But drop us one little good tidbit of what you got coming, and then we're gonna let you head on down the road and
man, to be honest with you, I don't even know. I haven't even had time to think about the videos that are coming out. We always keep up seasonally, so you'll start seeing some fall stuff come out. Hopefully you'll see a lot of good topwater stuff as far as fishing goes. And then from there, we're just going to keep pumping out those videos, pumping out those shorts. The biggest thing, we're closing in. I think we're less than 500 to 90,000 subscribers. So come over, help us get there, and then help us get to the 100K. I'd love to have one of those pretty play buttons. That'd be an honor.
That'd be so freaking awesome. You could put behind you, Geek. That'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys that think I did that. I understand that without the geeks, without the listeners, without
Mike,
the people out there, without Mike, it's not me. It's bass fishing that we all love, and hopefully I provide some fun and some information and help people catch more fish. That's all I care about doing.
All right, guys, let's go in today's show. Thank you all for listening and bearing with us today as we travel the road. But hopefully next week we'll have everybody back in studio and get the whole entire team back, because we haven't had it's been about a month now, Geek. It's
I
crazy.
know. August is always a busy month for me.
Yeah, as you guys, I told you earlier, the basscast.com, by now the results will be posted. We're heading to the river for the 2-day, but I think I'm just going to go down and cover Saturday. I'm going to go hang around here on Saturday, but I think Sunday I'm going to go down, definitely going down Sunday for the final of the 2-day event. There's a bunch of 2-day BFLs coming up. Bass Geek knows we got Rivers and Roads coming up pretty soon. We've been kind of promoting that on here. If you guys haven't checked Rivers and Roads on Facebook, if you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. Really cool event. They make you feel like a professional angler for $150. I'm not sure exactly what the entry fee is, but I know it's under $200. I think. I don't want to quote and don't want to be wrong. Head to Rivers and Roads, find out all the information you guys need to find out. But we'll be in Hopewell, Virginia for that. And basscast.com. Our tournament trail kicks back up next month, so we're really excited about that. Finish it up at the end of the year. Let's finish strong this year, guys. Come on out. Let's finish strong for 2025 and build on this for 2026. I had someone the other day hit me up. Do we have a schedule? Guys, the schedule has been out since November 2024. What the? It's all on the basscast.com. It says 2025 tournament schedule, by the way. It has its own little window, its own little box, its own little logo, its own little decal. Click on it. You can pay, prepay, fill out your release form. You are set up and ready to go to fish all of our events from right there. We loved it during COVID. It makes so much stuff so much easier, so much faster. And we appreciate you guys fishing with us. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we will talk to you guys again right here on Basscast Radio.